Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report. Today's date is Saturday, March 30th, college basketball games. Let's go over them. In last night's game, first, it was NC State and Marquette. NC State grabbed a big lead in the first half, and it would continue to stay that way. Actually got up really big as they got up by 13 in the first half. NC State was playing well, a team that has been on a roll and won 9 games in a row. And Marquette was just not good. 67-58, NC State over Marquette. DJ Horn scores 19 for North Carliona State and 20 for Cam Jones. And in the Gonzaga Bulldogs and Purdue game, it was a close game throughout the first half as we went into halftime 40-36 Purdue. But Purdue kind of took over in the second half as they outscored them by 8 and would win 80-68 in a decisive win. Look at Houston. Well, in the first part of the game, their best player went down, and that was Jamal Shad. And after that, it just didn't look good. You knew it wouldn't look good. He rolled his ankle. The test results are negative, so it may have looked like he would come back. He didn't come back. It also may have looked like he would come back for another game. Unfortunate part for them, they didn't play a game. So my national championship champion is knocked out. Looks like Morgan may win the league. Duke 54, Houston 51. Kyle Folemsky looked really good for Duke and looking like a back down center and would back players down and going for the easy layup and could also hit the three. He scored 16. LJ Cryer scored 15 in the win. Houston. Duke 54-51. The shots would go short by Houston to come within the win. Tennessee and Creighton. Tennessee 82-75. They were close. 35-34 was in the first half, and then Tennessee was able to spread it out and they'll win by. Alabama moved on. Illinois moved on. And UConn moved on. Well, here's the matchups tonight. A number 3 seed Illinois, who's played really well in the tournament, obviously played really well on Thursday to beat number 2 seeded Iowa State. They will get that chance again as Brad Underwood will go up against UConn. 509. UConn's won the national championship and have a chance to get it back-to-back and would have 2 back-to-backs in 6 since 1999 and would have since 1999 if they win this year's national championship. Clemson and Alabama. Alabama, I think, goes for their first Final Four. Alabama hasn't been this far in 2 decades. They try to go to their first Final Four ever. And UConn's obviously been there. Illinois' last Final Four was when they met up with UNC in the national championship. Clemson's
not as much NIL money going around in the women's game unless you're Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese or somebody like that. So the women's game is picking up momentum because their teams have been together. So there's more continuity when they play and they play more fluidly. So when the men's game, it's like I was watching Oregon and South Carolina yesterday. Guy from Oregon scores 35 points, and he used to be at South Carolina last year. I mean, So they're transferring all over the place, and it just makes it harder to. It does make it a little bit harder to follow, and it can, depending on the school, mess with their continuity on the court.
If you had to pick just by picking, you would say UConn.
Just by picking, yeah, I would say UConn. But repeating in college is so rare. I mean, and even they've had people like they had some people transfer out or whatever. So UConn is the best team. It's just they have their six best games of the season. Picked them to because I didn't have them going very far. I figured they would get by Sanford, but I didn't pick UConn to win it all. But as I think more about it, I mean, the I picked Arizona to win it all because they've got the inside outside presence because they did get Caleb Love. And I just think that they, I think they can match up with UConn if they match up. Forgetting how the brackets will play out, but I think Arizona has a type of team that could win it all. And it's just so hard to repeat in college basketball, especially now because you can't keep a team together. But UConn has kept most of their team together, so they got a shot.
Tigers, they didn't do too well this year. They 0-19, worst team I've ever seen them play. Worst team.
Oof.
And we couldn't fire. I mean, not that I would have fired him, but nobody could fire him because we didn't have an athletic director, and we still don't have an athletic director. And it's been about a month and a half since she's left. Well, I guess, yeah, almost. Well, I don't know. Whenever the first day of spring training, so let's see, that's about a month ago. Not that I would fire him, and then he's got a good recruiting class coming in, but it's a lot of freshmen. It's like it's not like a transfer team, so it's going to make him harder to win. And like he's got to go like 500 for him to keep his job. So I don't think that.
Just 500.
Yeah, I mean, from 0-19 to 500 is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's an improvement. Well, if you finish 500 in that conference, you're probably going to be up pretty close to 500 on the season. So,
I guess we'll go NFL. Chris Jones signed a long-term deal. What did you think about that?
not surprised.
Think L'Jarius Sneed will be traded, or you think he'll stay?
I think he'll play out his franchise tag.
You do? You don't think they'll trade him to another team?
No,
No.
because that would take away from their chances of three-peat unless they get like a Jalen Ramsey or something, which he just renegotiated his contract with Miami. So they're trying to three-peat. They're not trying to subtract from the people who have helped them get there.
Well, I see. I see this is like both little ways. Is like okay. First of all, L'Jarius Sneed. If you got a second and a fourth round pick, you don't want to go for you don't want to put yourself all in and go for the three repeat like you did in 2020, and then your team wins up not that good, and you got to rebuild like the Chiefs did. And the Chiefs they
Not
won
that good. They went to the Super Bowl.
right, but then they had to build to the like they had to build back up, and it too much in their way for it. Like I mean, they just went forward too much, and then they didn't have the right tackle, they didn't have the right.
That season they had injuries.
Well, I mean, yeah, but then their weakest points of where.
And one of the injuries took place in the conference championship game, which you can't really, that's out of their control.
But to me, it seems like we've not kept a player, for example, Juju Smith-Schuster or somebody like that, and we've kept him a player in spite of it.
I like to keep the guys that they've drafted. The Chiefs didn't draft Juju.
I'm just giving you an example.
And I'm giving you the perspective, like the way how a front office might see things.